Welcome to HortTube, where we talk all things gardening. My name is Jim Putnam, and this is an Italian cypress. This is an Italian cypress, a tall, narrow-growing conifer that's great as a screening plant. Italian cypress can get quite large over time. They can eventually reach over 40 feet in height and probably as much as 8 to 10 feet in width over a very, very long period of time. Italian cypress are best used in horticultural zones 7 to 10. Like most conifers, Italian cypress is going to be slow to start. Probably won't get a lot of growth out of this in the first year it's in the ground, but it'll pick up pace and at some point probably be growing as much as 2 feet in a single season. This is definitely a sun-loving conifer. You would not want to put this in less than a half a day sun, and it would really prefer at least 3/4 or even full sun. The primary use for Italian cypress is usually as a screening plant between neighbors where you don't have a lot of ground space and you need something that has a lot of height. So primarily as a screening plant. Also works great as a container plant. If you put it in a large container, you can keep one of these for several years as long as the pot's not freezing solid. The main attributes of Italian cypress are, number one, it has this beautiful blue-green foliage on it. It's really quite striking. And if you've ever seen a large one, it's really, really quite nice. And then of course its upright, narrow habit. With almost no maintenance, this plant maintains itself in a perfect column. I've included planting instructions for woody shrubs in the description of this video. Italian cypress needs to be well drained. And so I said it'll grow in zone 7 to 10, which that's a lot of the southeast United States, but it's very humid in the southeast, and this plant doesn't necessarily like a lot of humidity. So if you were to combine that humidity with clay soil and it just didn't drain well, and you could put a lot of stress on this plant and damage it. It really needs to be growing in some sort of sandy loam, probably south of my state in North Carolina, or the southern part of my state where the sand hills start, and then down to North Florida. It probably is better suited for the more Mediterranean type conditions of the Southwest United States. They can grow these very easily there. It's worth a try in the Southeast, but like I said, it's got to be well drained, and some of the more humid summers we have can stress this plant. For the first year your Italian cypress is in the ground, you're going to want to check it pretty regularly for water and stick your finger down a couple inches and make sure it actually needs it, and then drown the space around it. In the southeast United States, once this thing's established, it's really not going to need a lot of ongoing watering unless you were in severe drought. Obviously, in the desert Southwest, where these are used pretty frequently and a lot in California, you're going to want to put it on some sort of irrigation system or have some capacity to water it when they need to be watered. I would definitely fertilize Italian cypress in the late winter or early spring. Any kind of slow release outdoor fertilizer will be fine. It's an acid-loving plant, so definitely something like holly-tone would probably be a really good choice for this. The new foliage is really nice, and you can get a lot more of that color contrast by doing it. You can shear your Italian cypress pretty much anytime you'd want to. They'll usually get some crazy limbs that can be cut off. They don't really need a lot of pruning. They kind of take care of themselves. I really would never take the top out of one of these. If you do that, you're going to end up with multiple trunks. And of course, that if you get any kind of snow or ice on them at any point, that can create some issues with them splitting open. So I would leave it as a single trunk if you can find one with a single trunk. And then the only pruning you'll have to do on it is really taking the crazy limbs off of it. Really very few pests on Italian cypress. In the southeast United States, where they can become a little more stressed from heat and humidity, they are susceptible to spider mites. Deer tend not to actually eat them, but I have heard stories of deer liking to rub on Italian cypress. So what are you waiting for? Even you can grow the tall and narrow growing Italian cypress. Thank you for watching my video, and if it was helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for future videos. Also comment below with any questions you have about screening plants. Thanks again.